Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jenna. I'm a Canadian who's been living here in Germany since 2014 and I share all my experiences about living here in Germany over on this channel. But if you are new or if you're planning on moving to Germany, I have a 12-step checklist that is going to help save your butt when getting started and help save your money. It is absolutely free. I will link that down below so you guys can go and grab that. And if you've moved here, perhaps you've been here for a little while and you're finally interested in buying your own property here in Germany, well, things can be a little bit different than they might be in your home country. I had questions, but you guys actually had even more questions than I did because I kind of had an unfair advantage that I purchased our first two properties with my German husband, which meant I was able to buy my house on a temporary residency permit because I was married to a German. So thanks to you guys, you have sent in so many amazing questions in regards to being a foreigner and purchasing a property here. I think right off the bat I can tell you it's actually pretty simple. It's not a very different process for Germans versus foreigners, but today we have Thomas from LoanLink24 here on a call so that we can ask the expert the questions. This is not a sponsored video. They are actually partnered with Baufi24 and this is kind of like the German aspect of their company. Basically what they do is they offer English speakers the support to find a loan, to find a mortgage here in Germany to buy a property. Their services are absolutely free. You do not have to pay the advisor for their support. They will make their money on a commission basis. They actually have partners with hundreds and hundreds of different banks around Germany, which makes sure that you are being given the best possible deal at the best possible rate. If you do need support, you can definitely check them out. I will link them down below. I chose LoanLink24 because they, for me, are really like the go-to resource when you require help finding a loan or finding a mortgage here in Germany as an English speaker. So without further ado, you guys have sent me tons of questions. I have them printed out here. I am going to ask all of these questions. We are going to answer them today in this video. And of course, if you want to check out any of my other videos, I will also link them down below. But I have talked about, let me see, 8-step process to buying a house in Germany, how to actually buy real estate as a foreigner in Germany, how to find a property that's worth actually investing in Germany, and the secrets to landing your dream home, or what you should actually say to a seller or to a real estate agent in order to actually entice them that you are the best buyer. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started. I would like to introduce Thomas from LoanLink24.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm working at LoanLink24. We are a big German mortgage advisor for only English-speaking clients. I have an advisor team of 6 employees right now, but we are still growing, and I'm happy to answer all your questions.
I think we have quite a number of questions today, actually more questions than we typically have when we do these expert interviews. And that's actually because I've put together so many videos in the past about how I personally purchased a house in Germany, and then immediately came a rush of questions from foreigners and from internationals. One of them being, how long do you actually have to be living in Germany in order to be eligible for a bank loan here?
You can't say that across the board, since we can also finance foreign investors. However, if the customer lives in Germany, the following factors are more important to apply. Are you a EU citizen or not? What about your resident status? Is it limited or permanent? What about your employment, your probationary period? Is it over or you're still in it? What about your income, equity, and debt, and so on? There are so many factors. You can say it in general. It depends on the single or person or the single persons who want to buy a property.
Okay, so would you say that these are typically restrictions then that would really block you from being able to have an opportunity to buy a house? Or are there certain restrictions that foreigners have when purchasing property here in Germany?
Yeah, it depends really on the bank. But maybe if you are a blue card holder, maybe. What about your entry with the German advisor for employment? What is about a recognized university degree? It's a must have for a blue card holder, and you have minimum annual gross salary of 56,000 euros, yes, and 400. There's a little bit of restrictions, but it depends on the bank and every single case. So it's not a general answer, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I expected that. I guess we could really go through each one of these restrictions, maybe. One in particular, as we just mentioned, is the job opportunities here. Do you actually have to have like a really stable job in order to get a mortgage here in Germany?
Yeah, you have to answer probation period. It must be unlimited.
So I guess that goes hand in hand with a residency permit, that if you have a temporary residence permit, then you probably wouldn't necessarily be eligible to be getting a loan from a bank anyway.
You're right.
At least that's a little bit black and white to understand. Makes it a little bit easier. Is there an age requirement or a maximum age that you can be in order to actually get this loan? So say you have a permanent residency and you're ready to buy a house, but you're, I don't know, nearing the age of 67, which I believe is the retirement in Germany. Yeah, what are there restrictions in this regard?
It's case related, but there's no fixed age. An overall assessment of the case is made in connection with term and fixed interest rate, age, loan amount, etc. Pension information is requested depending on this. Pension at all is not a reason for rejection in general. After all, retirement is the safest job in the world because you do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
The question is more, do you as a client have pension rights in Germany? And if so, how much? And also important is, do you have other income in Germany? For example, rental income. Every bank makes a household calculation. On one side is your income, on the other side are all your expenses, loan rates, flat rate for living expenses, management costs of the property. If the income is higher than the expenses, you have a good chance independent from your age.
I really thought that that was going to be a black or white answer where you really just say, no, you know, once you reach that age, you're not going to be considered. So it's really nice, especially for the people, for example, who do have this additional income coming in your retirement. And I never really thought about the fact that you're right, retirement is like the most stable job you can have because the banks know that that's how much you're going to make.
Yeah, it is. Really, it is.
So when we're talking about actually going ahead and making a deposit on a house for foreigners, I guess it's probably not different than somebody who lives in Germany, but is there a certain type or a certain amount of a deposit that you would need to put down in order to purchase a house, perhaps a certain percentage?
Minimum the buying fees. If you buy a property, you have some buying fees. You have to buy the real estate agent if there, and you have to buy the notary and the land tax. It depends on the city where you're buying. It's 10%. That's a good first view on this. If you have 10% of the property price, then you can build the minimum of the buying fees and it helps you a lot.
Is there an actual like maximum that you can put down?
The maximum? No, if you go higher and higher, it depends on the loan to value ratio. If you put more money in it, then you get better conditions, of course. More money, better conditions. That's a good sentence to know.
Another person from the YouTube channel asked, is it worth putting as much cash down as possible to actually reduce your borrowing rate?
Yeah, in general, a higher down payment results in a lower interest rate for your mortgage. But you have to remember to always keep enough equity to have a financial airbag. If anything happens, the car breaks or the washing machine, something like that, you have to have some euros in the back end.
We're currently looking at purchasing a car and we wanted to do an entire down payment for that vehicle. And what they had said was actually if you do certain installments, then you can actually save money on the purchase of the car. So for them, it was better to do it that way. So in that case, I think it is a valid question to ask because you never know if it is going to change, right?
Yeah, right. Right.
Okay, so another person from the YouTube channel asked, does a statement of intent need to be made by putting an early deposit down in order to reserve the property whilst the application is being processed?
Yeah, it depends on the real estate agent. You have to keep in mind that the reservation fees are gone if you don't get the property.
Yeah.
So be careful. Too high reservation fees, in my opinion, are not serious and professional.
Interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's if you get the property, everything's cool. You can get your fees back or within the purchase price. But if you don't get the property, you lost your money.
Yeah.
10,000 euros, 1,000 euros, it's a lot of money, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Let's say somebody's ready to go ahead and figure out which loan is the best for them, and they've decided that they're going to go with Bank A, and they would like to know what kind of documents they actually need in order to actually get that loan. So whether that's their passport or their permanent residency. And I don't know if this is different for foreigners versus German citizens, but yeah, what would you require?
You need your passport or your ID in every case. You need your proof of residency, of course, your work contract, and the last three papers. I would say it's not the correct word for Gehaltsabrechnung. These documents required in every case.
Okay, so whether you're German or foreign, everybody needs this document.
Yeah, everybody, because
Okay.
the bank needs securities, and they want to see that you have a job, that you're living here, and they want to know that the man or woman who buys is you, and therefore they need your passport or your ID.
And so there's really nothing in addition that a foreigner might need on top of what a German citizen might need?
Yeah, the proof of residency, of course.
Right.
If you are German, you have the passport, and there stands on it's a German passport or German ID.
True.
And if you are from UK or US, then you have to put the proof of residence.
And so what about life insurance? Is that something that's required from the banks in order to actually get that loan?
Not every bank does it and will do it. It depends on the single bank, especially if the loan to value ratio is high. The bank may require you to provide or to take out an appropriate insurance. Maybe we can do a little example. The loan to value ratio refers to the mortgage lending value of a property, not to the purchase price. Let's say a property costs 300,000 euros, and thus has a mortgage lending value of 270,000 euros, because there's a safety discount of 10% at each bank. For a loan of 150,000 euros, the loan to value ratio is therefore 55, 56%, something like that. It's easy then with 55 or 56%. It's easy too if you're going up to 80%, but from 100% on a loan to value ratio, most banks want more securities. And then it is very, very possible that you have to sufficient the life insurance.
So it's not necessarily that every single bank needs it. It's just they need.
Not.
Okay. So another question that was submitted by one of our viewers was, does a deed of ownership exist here in Germany?
You will receive a purchase contract of the property, which will be notarized at the notary. Here you will receive a notice of convenience to ensure that the property goes only to you and not to someone else. And you have time to pay the purchase price at the notary appointment. When this has happened, you will be registered as the owner in the land register, and your bank will be noted in the land charges in the amount of the loan. So you're the owner, but the bank stands also in the land register, and the land register is the deed of ownership.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, the last question that we had for you is really, are there any other responsibilities or things that are required from you as a new house owner that you might need to consider, or any other last tips that you'd like to throw in there for foreigners who are planning on purchasing a house here in Germany?
Yes, of course. After you purchase a house or a flat, you will have to pay various fees. Monthly, quarterly, it depends on the fees. Yeah, you have to pay property tax and, of course, electricity, heating costs, fees for chimney sweep, water, sewage, garbage, and street cleaning. And also telephone, internet, broadcasting fees, and as well as insurance fees. There are a lot of costs which comes if you own the house or the property, of course.
I can definitely vouch for that. But I guess, I mean, it's not really any different from Germany versus Canada or America or wherever you are, right? It's kind of those simple procedures that need to be done and things that need to be paid for, right? So
yeah, maybe not. All the management cost of the property is the same maybe in every country of the world. I'm not sure what about the property tax in other countries. In Germany, you have to pay a property tax every quarter. Maybe that's a little bit different in other countries in Europe or around the world.
And does the property tax change in Germany, or is there a set tax rate?
It's a fixed tax rate, but it will change in the next years because it's a big political thing. But at the moment they are fixed, and in the next 2-3 years, up to 2025, there will be a new property tax, but it's actually a fixed rate.
Are you able to say how much it is currently?
An example, if you have property in Munich, 80 square meters, you pay around 350 euros annually.
So it would change state by state, really. So it's kind of hard to tell then, right?
It depends state by state and maybe from city to city. But it's not that high that you can't pay it. 350 euros a year. It's quite okay, I think.
Well, thank you so much, Thomas, for your time and being able to answer all of these questions. These were questions that really never even came up in my mind. And I said before to you, it's kind of an unfair advantage because I had a German husband, so I never thought about some of the other issues that foreigners might face. And then when these questions came pouring in, I thought, okay, we definitely need to get you on a video call and ask you these questions. LoanLink, I personally thought was really the best place to go because they also help foreigners and English speakers maintain and get those mortgages here in Germany. You guys have been super helpful answering all of my questions as well. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the invitation. And I hope I can help you and your community a little bit. And if there are any questions, please feel free to come to me back again.
Wonderful. Well, I'll leave any information that we can provide them down in the description below. Of course, if anybody else has any questions, then I'm sure Thomas and I will be going through the comment section and trying to get some stuff answered, at least in the first few weeks of publishing the video. So definitely don't forget to post your questions down below as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Again, if you're new to Germany and you want that freebie checklist that I have put together, don't forget to go check the link out below. As well, if you like this video and you want to receive more updates from life in Germany, don't forget to subscribe. I am here. You can ask me anything. And of course, you can request new video content for me to publish. I try to make a mix of fun, lighthearted culture shocks for you guys, but also the heavier stuff that is kind of worth knowing. That is it for me. Vielen lieben Dank, you guys. Und wie immer, bis später.